Welcome everybody to another episode of Conversation with OGs. I'm Meatball.
I'm Bart.
I'm Dre.
And today is Freestyle Sunday. Today I'm going to start off talking about will your partner do right by your kids if something was to happen to you? I don't think so.
I think so. I believe on a person. And then when you say do right by them, what do you financially do right by them?
Yeah, I'm saying like if you and this woman got together and y'all bought a house, y'all bought some property together, I don't think a woman will be honest about the worth of the half of the father's value. I think, let's say if they worth $1 million, they had $1 million for property. $500,000 is hers. The other $500,000 is what the dad invested. I'm not saying give the kids the whole $500,000 worth of property, but what I'm saying, if he got 2 kids, I think they should get $100,000 apiece.
Now, what age are you talking? Are they grown? Are they grown with children, or are they under a certain age?
Well, if they grown,
or should you just leave the kids something, period, whether they're grown or not?
Well, I'm pretty sure he probably done something for him, have something set up for him. But I'm talking about the value that he invested in with this woman, and it's neutral with the man.
Well, I think it depends on the woman. You know, you got some women out here that's greedy, that's not gonna leave nothing. I agree with you, and that it's gonna be some controversy going on. And you, like you said, to avoid all that, put it in writing. But me, if it was me, I would. If I sold the house, I would give them something. But if I didn't sell the house, I have nothing to give them. So it's nothing. Now, if you want to come in and get some of your daddy belongings or personal things like that, I don't have a problem with that. But you just can't come and take over the house that I'm still living in. So in that being that, if I didn't sell the house, say for instance, we had a life insurance policy that me and him was paying on, then I would give him something out of that.
What if he was paying it?
Then I would give him half.
Oh, okay.
If you were paying on it, I would give him half.
What if you was paying on it? Would you still get half?
I'll give him something. I wouldn't give him half.
Okay.
So Dre, let me ask you this. I don't think, well, I'm going to start with a statement. I don't think a woman is going to ever do fair by a man's child that would, if he didn't have any kids by that particular woman, she ain't going to do right by them kids. I don't think once that man died, I don't think she's going to financially support them kids in no way. I think she's going to get another man. She's going to spend that money with that man. And if she got kids, that money that man had, she going to spend that on her own kids.
I feel like this, like in actuality, like the woman I'm with now, I feel like she'll do right by my kids. But I've dated a lot of women. I've never felt that, they would do what she would do. They may do a little something, throw them something, but a majority of them, I feel like they going to be like, shit, fuck them kids. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, but... You know what I mean? Everybody is not gonna do right by you. When you hear all that shit is oh yeah, we're gonna do this and that. When you gone, all that shit is out the window, it's out the door. So with that being said, you have to put yourself in a position where you make sure your kids are straight. You know what I mean? You gotta do, okay, listen, put this to the side. This is in our name, me and this particular child. Okay, this is in my name and this particular child. That way, when something happened, they already got access to all these different things. You see what I'm saying? That's just like last time I was married. I didn't put anything in my name. You know what I mean? I was putting it in my brother's name because I've been through, a marriage and a divorce before, so I knew how that worked. Then at the same time with child support or the woman you dating trying to get over on you, so you have to literally think ahead.
So would you, if something was to happen to your girl, will you continue the same type of relationship with her kids?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we have a cool relationship. It ain't like we hang out, we hang out all day, every day, I see them, and it's like more of a, hey, Dre, we cordial, and we kick it, but it ain't like we all hanging out together all the time.
Yeah,
so, I mean, we still got to bond.
They might call you say happy birthday or something.
It's a different when you trying to, her kids is older. They're not little kids where they're in the house all day. Both of them got their own cribs. So when they stop by, it's like more or less holidays. They not there all the time because they pretty much grown. You know what I mean? So the bond is not gonna be the same if it's a little child that you raised up from 2 years old. Where if you get sick, they coming back and forth checking on you and all that. They may call you straight over there, Dre, because I wasn't there when they was kids. It's a respect and love that we have for each other, but it ain't the same that we in the same house and I watched them grow up from a younger age.
And to piggyback on that too, you got to think of the age. Like he said, his mate's kids are grown. So when they're grown, it'll be a different type of relationship. It'll be more like a, hey, how you doing? You okay? And then when you're dealing with a younger child, you probably not going to have no more contact with that child anyway, because it's probably going to a grandmother, auntie. I mean, he or she, not he. He or she is probably going to a grandmother or auntie or even a father. So that child is going to be at a younger age and kind of hard to keep in contact with him. And then you don't know, the father may not allow that child to keep in contact with him or allow him to keep in contact with him. So it would be different. But just because someone passes away don't mean you don't got to deal with the kids. I mean, because, see, the only difference in the dealing is that you're not going to be financially supporting that child no more. But just a casual, hey, how you doing? You all right? Happy birthday or something like that. Or grab something to eat. I don't think nothing wrong with that.
I did a light survey, and I asked men that raise kids from their ex-wives or wife, was it any benefit on your side raising her kids? He said, hell no. I have not met a man to say, you know what, if I can do it all over again, I would. Most of them say, you know what, them motherfuckers don't even send me a Father's Day card. On my birthday, they don't even call and tell me Happy Father's Day.
Well, how was the relationship?
Well, the point that I'm trying to make is once that woman is gone, that's the centerpiece that bring her kids to you. If she was to leave you, you could have raised them kids from when they was 2 months old. When that woman leave you, guess what's going to hurt? Them kids. Them kids is not going to be coming back.
And that's why I said it. That's why I said it's going to be an age boundary, because if it's a certain age, you got to think if somebody say I'm 17 and this man raised me from the age of 3 to 17. I'm 17. So now I have my own ways of communicating with him. But then say that my mother leave him when I'm 8 or 9. And then this allows him to talk to me and this allows me to talk to him. 1 out of 10, I don't know where he at no more. He don't know where I'm at no more. So it's more like the parent has more control of the relationship that you may have with the man that raised you because of your age. But when you're older, you got your own leeway. Between 16, I'll say 15, even 14, because they have cell phones. But between 14 and on up, you can still kind of, hey, how you doing? You all right?
30% of the kids that was raised by a man that's not their father, when the mother leave, the mother is going to feel like, you know what, you taking his side. Why are you still communicating when he ain't your daddy? So usually,
well, she probably don't know who his daddy anyway. That's why he was raising him.
Well, usually the kids make a choice and they side with the mother. Mm-hmm. This man could have paid for private school. He could have paid for weddings. He could have paid for all kinds of shit.
Can I ask you a question? Why would a man that's not his child do all that?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, you know what? When you go ahead.
My bonus dad raised me from 2 to 12, and he was my dad. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I went over there, checked on him, did all the things you said that the kid didn't do. When he passed away, I was out of state. I even came back to the funeral. I was his kid.
But your mother didn't stop you from dealing with him. See, that's what I'm saying.
He paid for you private school and all that stuff?
No, he ain't pay. I ain't go to private school. See, but he gave me money.
But he's trying to say he still
went to, hey, I need some money. Or he gave me money.
But see, your mother didn't cut that she didn't cut that relationship off.
Did he have any other kids? Like biological
kids? Yeah, biological kids. But I was his kid. But he's 12.
You a part of that percentage.
Yeah.
So most of the time, a man can give to these kids, and when if their relationship don't work, them kids ain't coming to check on him. Well, they not calling them on Father's Day. They not calling them on birthdays. They not doing none of that because at this point, the piece that kept them together is gone, which is the woman. So I feel like as a man,
did she keep them together? Or was he just tolerating the kids to be with the mom?
Well, they gotta have somewhere to live, so they living with their mom. Me and their mom was together. We married, so now we're a family. But we're forced to be a family is because they with their mom. But when the mom go, them kids ain't gonna be coming back. You need anything? You know,
my mom was married. I don't know about her forced
Well,
to be a family or nothing.
well, my point that I'm just making,
tolerate
it goes back to what I always say, like, you know.
But go back to the question. You said private schools, and why would a bonus dad do all that?
Well, because, well, you know, when we were saying 50-50, if you marry a woman, whatever she's paying,
Oh, okay.
I disagree. I highly disagree with that.
I don't
50-50 to me means this household bills.
I don't think you're paying for no private school and weddings. You grown when your
mortgages,
weddings.
the taxes, even the cars. But that tuition, that's going to be between her and the kid's father. Now, in order for me to step up and say, okay, I'm going to help with tuition in private school, this dude better be dead. Not only that he better be dead, we got to have a bond where I've been there, like, in that situation, 2 years old or something. I'm not coming in, these little mugs was 10 years old.
Would you help out with her portion?
As far as what, private school?
Yeah.
Yeah, is the father dead?
No, the father paying his half. Would you help out with your girl?
Why she ain't paying her half? Because we got to get the...
She might ain't got it.
Well, guess what? That means she ain't got the money for this mortgage and none of that.
So Dre, I want to be clear what you're saying. So you saying if a woman got kids, you're not paying nothing for their future.
Why would
That ain't
he?
what I said. I said I'm not sending them to private school if
So what
the
about they
father
need a car?
is alive.
The kids finna get a car.
Is the
Will you-
father alive?
Shit, how would it be any difference?
It make a big difference.
The daddy ain't got no money. He fucked up. He on crack.
Well, she shouldn't have had a baby with him.
So now that the kid need a car, that she going off to college,
It depends.
will you help the woman with the car?
It depends. It goes back to the point. Is the father alive? Is the father on drugs? Okay, how
that's
hold on. I'm making a point.
irrelevant,
Yes, I'm making a point. Father alive, the father around, the father on drugs. When I came into this woman's life, how old was the kids? If I came in a situation where they two and I watched them grow, if I came in and I only been around 2-3 years, no, I'm not helping with cars and all that. Some of that stuff come from building a relationship with these kids. Over years, these kids become your kids if you're around a long time. I'm not just gonna say, oh, I'm having sex.
Well, I believe you build a bond, but they ain't your
But
kids.
how long do you gotta be around to have a bond with these kids though?
Well, you know, if I'm around them for some years, I will create a bond with them because
Okay,
it's just
2
a
years.
natural behavior. But they not my kids. I would never. Them is not my kids. I could have raised them from when they was 1 month old to they 20.
2
Them
years.
still not my
You
kids.
2 years and you coming in back paying for private school and all that. 2
Well,
years.
if I'm with the mom and the kid, and that's what the kid's going to, and I agree with it, yeah, I help out.
Shit.
And this is
Them motherfuckers better go to public school. We
50-50
did good at public school.
Well, I'm not saying I would give 50. I would see. The thing is like this. I am the first to say I am an Indian giver. When I get mad at the mom, I ain't paying shit.
See,
I ain't
that's
paying
why
no tuition.
don't even do it at
I
all.
think
man.
that's a little overboard
I'm
in the
not
sense
saying-
of I think
They
like
get
if they
their
go to
senior
private
year, you want to
school,
stop paying the tuition in the
Yeah,
senior
you
year.
know.
Well, see,
That
see,
shit
the
crazy,
thing is,
bro.
the kids can still go to school, but that next semester they won't let them come back.
What if it's their senior year? They about to graduate.
You just won't get your degree. You can still go.
okay, so why even pay it anyway? Why even?
Well, what I'm saying
this is my
is
thing.
a
setting them up for failure.
It's
And
a certain
this is
type
why
of woman.
you should talk about women. This is exactly why men should not talk about women and women are this and women mess up everything because as a man, why would you even put yourself in the situation to
would
do
do
that
certain
for somebody that's not your
I would-
child?
well, you
Go
know
to
what?
regular school. Because if your mama and them can't send you to private school, you ain't going on my dime. I'm not sending your kid to private school. And what if mine don't go to private school? Who is you? You get the same education
if I
online.
got kids and mine not going, I'm not sending theirs. I'm not going to give.
But what if her kids was already in private school and she's saying, "Oh, I want
Well,
you to."
see now, Barb, you brought up another scenario.
Okay.
If my kids ain't getting the best education, I'm not paying for nobody else's kids.
I don't think you should pay for nobody else's kids to go to private school at all, unless it's your wife and it's your child. That's
So
just my opinion.
let me ask y'all this: how y'all feel about whatever person in the family passed away, and then it seemed like the family just dispersed?
It was dispersed anyway. It was just.
But like for instance, my
Just
grandma,
tolerating
my big mom was alive. We used to always meet at her house Sundays.
Was she the one putting it together?
Well, she just cooked every Sunday.
Everybody just always.
So it was just
Everybody
like,
came.
so everybody came, and it just seemed like once my grandma passed away, I don't see no more of my her sisters. I don't see her kids, her
And
sister's kids that much.
I'm not saying this based upon your family, but I'm just saying this just in general. To me, when things like that happen, it was just a family that tolerated each other. Because when you lose somebody close and somebody kept the family together and stuff like that, it's not going to stop just because that person died. It's going to keep going. It may not be done as much. It may be limited sometimes, but it's not going to completely stop. So sometimes people just do things. It could be just to see the grandma. Oh, I'm going to see grandma. I'm going over grandma's house because this is what grandma liked.
Maybe like a tradition, some type of tradition.
But it's a toleration. Now, once grandma gone, I ain't doing this no more. Y'all ain't gonna see me no more at all. I'm done. But I mean, y'all do deal with each other, but some families don't deal with each other at all because the matriarch is gone.
Let me step in on that. You're right. It won't completely end. What'll happen? People deal selectively who they deal with.
Yeah, that's
the situation. Like I've saw on both sides of my family, it never stopped. People, when my grandma passed on both sides, people didn't stop, being around. They just selectively
deal with who they want to deal with.
Yeah.
And how did that affect the family? You don't think that affects the family as a whole?
I mean, of course, I definitely agree. But you got to think, each generation things is different. It's like you got to remember, like back then when everybody struggled and they was going through the police brutality, the Klan and all that. It was like everything was more united. Everybody was one. They was all pushing. Think about the Olympics. Everybody, when they win, they holding their fists up. They was celebrating as a whole. It was like more love. It was like everybody was united as one. You know what I mean? We had our own little juke joints and everybody was just wanted to be around each other. Now it's different. Everybody's scared to be around each other the way people moving. You see what I'm saying? You got to think, instead of us getting something and building something together, you rather have two people building and the other 8 sitting around sucking their teeth ready to put a play down. You know what I mean? So I think over the years, we lost the grandmas, we lost the aunties, everybody lost respect. Ain't no disciplining nobody no more. Now you discipline somebody's child, you might get killed.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, when Big Mamas was living and Grandmas was living, the house was open. Anybody could go stay with Grandma. Anybody could spend the night at Grandma's house. Anybody, if you ain't had nowhere to go, I'm going to Grandma's house. Once Grandma gone, that house is left to somebody else. So now you can't do that. It's the people. It's not the tradition, it's the people. So now that house that everybody could go to, party, listen to music, eat, and just do whatever you was doing when Grandma was there, it's changed. It's because it's not Grandma's house no more. It belongs to somebody else. So it's not going to be allowed and tolerated. So that's the change.
But then the level of respect has changed too. It's a lot of stuff people wouldn't do because of Grandma house. Your house, they don't feel the same. Grandma wasn't alone smoking in the house and all that. Everybody else maybe rolling up and doing all type of crazy stuff. So.
And then once the house go to somebody, you gotta think maybe uncle, you ain't coming over here to get a meal every time somebody cook, or no, you ain't got nowhere to stay. You can't sleep over here, but it's open house when it's Grandma. Come on over, baby, I cook. Come on, you can spend the night. Bring a friend. You can't do that once it switch
Do you think it's any way that we can get back to that? Like, just because a person in the family passed away, how can we keep that unity? How do you think we can keep that unity?
You need to send out the invite.
Somebody got to put it together.
Yeah, somebody got to be.
And somebody has to keep it going every year. Somebody has to put it out. And then every year somebody different has to do it.
That's a lot of work on somebody.
But I got a question. My question is this. How do you all feel as men? You come into these women's life that have children and they want you to provide financially for her and her children, but they don't want you to verbally or physically discipline them. Do y'all feel like that's a slap in the face? Or do y'all feel like if you ever got put in a situation like that, do y'all feel like that's disrespectful towards y'all as a man? Or how would y'all handle the situation?
Well, okay, I guess I'll go first. I believe that a man should not physically whoop another man's child. Now, if the father is not alive, and that's why I believe the men should come together. The father of their daddy and me, we're going to have a conversation. And I'm going to let him know, you know what, bruh? I get them your kids, but your kids are staying under my roof. And, I want to let them know it's going to be some issues because I get they was raised one way before I came. But I'm going to set the stage with him because I know in the end, that's who they going to try to go tell on me to is they daddy. So me and the daddy got to be on the same page. If not, I believe at some point it will be a physical altercation. So I would reach out to the dad. I would talk to the mom and let them know, listen, I won't put my hands on your child because I wouldn't tolerate it. But you know what? I will do things to discipline them. For instance, I dated a woman. Huh?
No, I was about to say no TV, no video games.
Well, I dated a woman and she had a son. One was 3 and the other one was 6. And he told me, well, my daddy said, I don't have to listen to you. I say, well, you know what? You're absolutely right. So, but when the ice cream truck came, I bought the 3-year-old 2 ice creams. I ain't buy him shit. So he looking all crazy. And I walked past. You remember you said your daddy said you ain't got to listen to me?
That was so petty.
It was petty. But you know what?
But that taught him
But you know
something.
what?
That
I
taught
ain't
him.
had no more problems out of him because your daddy ain't never here. I'm here. So if you want to sit up here and put a wedge between me and your dad, go right ahead. You're going to suffer. I'm not going to mistreat you. But when it comes to spending my money, that's to my discretion.
I was a kid like that. So why do men accept the financial burden of the children? I can see you going half and half on the bills and stuff like that, but why do they accept all the other finances like trips or if they need shoes and clothes and things like that? Because 1 out of 10, the mother's probably getting a child support check and she's working herself. So if you're providing food or roof over their head, why do y'all take on the extra financial thing with the
You're doing
children?
that for the woman. But my thing is this. I'm gonna just tell you, like, just say if I'm dating my girl and she got younger kids, or if I'm dating anybody, she got younger kids. Now I got my kids and these is her kids. Now, if the baby father is lacking on something, yeah, I may chip in and buy some shoes. It's gonna be some Air Ones. My kids may get Jordans.
Okay.
Her kids ain't getting Jordans. I don't care if we going together.
But you got them some shoes.
I got them shoes.
So you thought about
I'm picking up the weight that your father and if your mom can't do it because whatever she going through, I still bought them something. I could have got them some Avias from Walmart or something, but at least I got you something that's decent where you won't get teased in school.
Hey, what? Air Force One, you doing good.
Yeah, but see,
They not
Paulie,
Jordans, though.
I wouldn't do that because that's going to create issues among the kids.
So you gonna
If
buy
one
them
walking
all?
around, look what you got. You got Air Ones is straight to us. But if right now Jordan's the shit.
Right.
If you buy her kids regular Nikes and you buying your kids Jordans, she's gonna feel a certain type of way.
Why? He
Because
never
now-
had kids.
She
Hold
should
on.
be
Hold
happy.
on. Because now the kids is going to be teasing each other. They're going to say, look what you got on, look what we got on. When they go to school, why your brother got those and you got them? Well, my daddy bought them. Her daddy ain't buy nothing.
So you gonna buy them Jordans too?
I would buy them all Jordans.
So you know what happens when you buy them all Jordans? Now they feel like, why is he doing more? Them not even his kids.
Well,
So
but
you
see,
still
kids,
you still putting a wedge
Dre,
there.
kids don't look at it like that. When kids
they
are
do.
being raised together, and I'm talking about under the age of 11, 12, they don't look at it like, the only thing they know, that's my brother, we live together, and we sleep together, we eat together. They doing everything together.
That they don't even find out that they don't even look at you as a brother to maybe 10, 15 years in. Once you there, just say like, you got kids, she got kids, you move in, y'all making a whole family. They like shit. That's his girlfriend's son.
No,
they not calling each other
They only
brothers.
know. Yes, they do. They only
That's
know what
down
you
the
tell
line,
them.
boy.
If I'm dating this woman, and we're serious, we get married, I'ma tell them, this is your brother. I'ma tell vice versa, this is your sister.
Okay,
So when you go to
she been through
school,
that.
I didn't do that.
but they wasn't married either.
It didn't matter. He was in our house.
No, it does matter.
He was, but he grew up with
When
us. He
you
was
get
in our
married-
house. Let me finish. He lived with my mother. He was over our house since he was a baby, like baby. That wasn't my brother.
What did you consider him?
I considered him who he was.
Her son.
person, you know.
See what I'm
Not
saying?
my mama's son.
Yeah.
I
So, but
consider
his son, with his son.
But why, Byron?
I consider him as, because that's who he was.
That's
Yeah,
who
but
he
so
was.
you don't assume nobody that's not your blood family.
I didn't know.
You have to
He
grow
wasn't.
into that.
I'm saying anybody, but I assume some
Let me
people
tell you
that's not
why.
my blood,
I don't
they
know.
still
Maybe I'm
family.
different. Maybe I felt that way because I was
feel the
like,
same way.
yeah, my
I
sister
ain't
was
been in that
like,
position.
I was a little older, so I was like more 9-ish. Kia was like more like still younger, but I was up in age, so I probably looked at it a little bit different. And then not only that, I didn't care for his father.
Well, see, that's where it is.
And so now
you had a wedge.
So you
But
come into our home and you say, "This is your brother." No, he's not. This is his child. This is your. No, he's not my
And you
father.
gonna
That's
introduce
your
him, man.
boyfriend.
You're not gonna introduce him as my brother. You're gonna be like, this Johnny. This Michael.
I just.
Yeah, but see, they do it all the time,
Right.
though, Dre.
But see, that's what I'm saying.
Byron had another wedge. She didn't like the daddy from the start, so she really wanted them to get
Well,
the fuck
I
out.
ain't never been in that position, but I'm
Yeah, I
telling
was-
you, I'm not gonna be like this, my brother. That would have had to come in after we about 10, 15 years, and I'm gonna look at it like this. When we was younger, before we built that bond, oh, that's Ball, that's Diddy. Then it went from names to that's my man's to my cousin to my brother. Everything comes in cycles. So you don't get that title to the nigga to the guy that's sleeping in the other room, knowing he didn't come from your mama or daddy. He just the dude or the woman child. Y'all build that bond to become, oh, that's my brother. In the beginning, he's Curtis. Oh, that's little JJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, Dre, that's because when we was coming up, we was like wolves.
Mm-hmm.
We was raising each other. But think if your mom was married, the man had kids prior to meeting your mom, vice versa. They get married, your mom will sit you down. And you 5 years old, you know what? This is now your brother. This is now your sister. You will accept that at that time. And then as you grow, you won't even think about y'all not blood no more.
Depends on how
on the
old you are.
kid.
Yeah, it depends
Well,
on the
5
kid,
years
depends on
old.
how
I'm a
old you
different.
are.
I wouldn't.
And then it depends.
I wouldn't accept
And then it depends on the relationship you and him build together. Cause he's still out. You looking at it like this. First off, before you even get to that point, you got to think the mom and dad is dating, and he's an outsider. Mm-hmm. Cause you looking like this nigga always over here eating. He get the big piece of chicken, so he already the outsider.
Ate all the
And
macaroni
then
and cheese.
after a while, you get used to him. And like, well, shit, it look like they gonna be.
He gotta eat before
Now the kids
you
get
eat.
to coming. So now they the outsider. You see what I'm saying? It don't just
Well,
it don't go
there's a
like
difference
that.
between girlfriend and boyfriend in marriage.
You still got to
Okay,
start
but
from
I disagree. You know what? Let me tell you why I disagree with you. Because you have women who treat their boyfriends better than they treat their children, and their boyfriends are not their husbands.
And that's not smart.
That's not smart, but we live in a society like that. I gave my mother, these were my mother's boyfriends. These wasn't husbands. This was a boyfriend. This is your daddy. Oh no, that ain't my
Well,
daddy.
I agree with you there, Barb. But I'm talking
Oh
about
wait,
marriage.
no. Or did you ask, could you get a water? You know, rules change when men come in. When men come in the house, rules change for kids. So sometimes it's not the kids is bad and fucked up. It's just that the mama gives these men power that they shouldn't
And
have.
I don't think the women, and that's why it goes back to,
And I get
don't
mad
think,
at the women
I don't
because
think
women
women
shouldn't
should
do
be
that.
able to have certain powers.
What it?
I don't think, I think women make some very bad choices. I always say
Well,
that.
when it comes
So
to
she
men, I
meets some
agree.
guy, she
Yeah.
been screwing around with him for 3-4
And he
months.
come in and run the
move him
whole
in,
house.
I don't agree with that. This guy, you don't know if this guy got a record. Is he a child
They don't
molester?
care.
It's so, yeah, you getting what you want. He's doing whatever you want him to want. So she accept that. Now, I'm saying if they got married, you ain't going nowhere. She got my last name. Now we have to talk about if the kids gonna take my last name too.
So you
What?
Yeah.
Who you would
Listen,
be? Me and you would have been
if I
bucky.
was-
I'd have called my daddy on you so quick.
Listen,
This nigga gonna be
but I'd
clown.
have set you down.
I'd have told you
I'd
who
have
you
set you
talking
down.
to. No, you wouldn't.
I would have been like,
No,
listen
you
here,
wouldn't.
little dark girl.
No, you wouldn't.
I would have been like, I married your mama,
And I would have said so.
and I say now her last name, finna be mine, and it look like I inherit you.
No,
So-
you didn't.
so now-
no, you didn't.
Now, if you're going to be living under this household,
No.
all us is going to have the same
and I'd
last
have called
name.
my. What?
Are you serious?
I'd have said all.
And you know
of
what
that.
my daddy would have came over there and told you? You
What
done
he told
lost your damn dad.
And I would say, well, you take this little chocolate baby and y'all get the fuck out of my house.
He's not serious, bro.
Yeah. I believe once I married a woman and she take on my name, the kids got her name, they inherit my name too.
Man, you
You
delusional.
delusion though. You done lost your man for real. Ain't no reason.
I never been married, but that's how I see marriage.
So you
It's
believe
no
marriage is to death
reason.
then? You believe marriage is to death?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you gonna take it, once these kids take on your last name, you're gonna honor and take care of these kids just the way you would take care of your own kids.
Exactly.
Okay, let me throw this. Let me throw an uppercut in there.
Go ahead.
You done got the child. You done got the lady. You done married her. They done changed their name. You find out the mailman stroking her. Do you stay taking care of the kids? They got your name. Even though you leaving the lady,
You
what you
accepted
gonna
her.
do with the kids?
Okay. By law, once I adopt them kids, I'll be on the hook for child support.
So you'll take the kids. You'll keep looking out for them, but you'll leave the lady.
Well, 9 times out of 10, when you get a divorce, the kids go with the mom anyway. So what I will do is, guess what, Dre? I understand how legacy works. By them kids taking on my last name, they grow up, do good, they're part of my legacy, not their original daddy,
They
not the mother. They're part of my legacy. See, I'm a different type of man. I understand how shit works.
Now let me flip the flip of the coin on that. Your legacy, your name, they daddy DNA. They daddy was a serial rapist. And now,
So what
this,
they got- what
now
they
this
got to do
kid
with
is a
that?
serial rapist with your last name and your legacy.
Okay, Dre, but guess what? I also control the legacy of their kids. You get what I'm saying? But I was wondering, so we continue the conversation. When you take on Mr. Washington name, your great old kids is gonna have that name, which is his name. You don't even have a name. You mute. So the legacy of Mr. Washington, which is the slave name, continues on.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. Ain't no woman, you can ask any woman, ain't no woman in their right mind gonna change their kid's last name because they married you and they not yours.
Well, no.
And they got a
Well,
father.
let's say we got some women that probably would do it. I don't think a
If they
large.
do it, they-
I don't
they
think a
do it,
large
they got
percentage.
bad.
I don't believe a large percentage of women would do
Listen,
it.
that dude gotta have a big bag in order for.
I bet if P. Diddy married a woman, they can't wait for their name to be.
That's a bad.
I just said
That's
big
a whole
bag.
different story.
Listen, I do all right. When them kids come home, they come into a nice crib.
If you
We got a nice car.
ain't got marble heated floors, it ain't changed their last name to yours.
Well, you know what? That'd be a standard for me. That's just for me. If I'm gonna be taking care of your kids and they mama take my name and you got your mama's name,
I've never heard you say this before. When did you just come up with this?
well, I came up with this because I never talk about me getting married. But if I was to get married and the kids there, the mama take on something, I'm taking on that responsibility.
Wow.
It's going to be my legacy.
Listen, before you, if you date,
Well, I want you to pray on this and go and rethink what you're saying and don't do it.
no, he ain't
So
gotta
the
rethink it.
kids gotta lose their identity because you married the mom.
They going to take on my legacy.
Up until how old? Hold on. Up until
That's
what
forever.
age?
Well, once you get to now, they can get up to 21 years old and change whatever they want to change. But I'm gonna tell you why you up under my.
So up until that, they gotta lose who they are.
Yeah, the mama did.
So what if they got a father who takes care of them?
When a woman.
What do you think their dad is gonna say if he's in their life
I
and
sit
take
up
care
here
of
and
them?
I tell any woman I date, if we was to get married
He gonna
and
get
you
some
want to
advice.
hype in my name, that's an
I'm gonna be
insult
going
to
to
me.
save her.
You're going to
Put your
lose
good
your
shoes
identity.
on.
You is not finna keep your father's name and you my wife.
Put
No,
your
you're
good
going to
shoes
take
on,
on my
'cause y'all
last
gonna be
name.
saving
You're
this
going to
one.
produce my legacy. Your kids will become a part of my legacy.
They gonna call, be like, Daddy, he said I gotta change my last name.
I just told you I tell
to
Byron,
Jackson.
well, you know what?
And
You
he
come
gonna
and get
pull
this
up.
child.
He
And
gonna pull up, and
Pull
y'all
up.
have altercation.
No. I'm going to say, listen, bruh. I ain't got a problem talking to a man. I'm going to say, listen. Hey, Dre, I'm decent with these, but I don't want to do that for a kid. What I will do, I tell a man like this. Listen, bro. This is how I run my household. Now, if you ain't down with how I run my household, you more than welcome to get that.
Okay, so how would you put? No, I'm just putting on his kids.
Your kids.
Your legacy, your son. She went and got married and said, and he told her, your kids gotta take my last name. These are your blood. These are your son is your legacy. The last name gotta change. What you gonna say?
My son right now to this day live with me.
Now I'm not asking you that.
Hold on.
She gets married. Don't forget who he live with. He's a young man.
Okay.
Can't say nothing like I'm gonna say about 5.
Okay.
She gets married. He say, your kids have to take my last name.
And my kids living with the mom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once again, everything starts with a count. I'm gonna sit my son down. I'm gonna say, listen here. You are a part of my DNA. Most men is not going to understand you. Most definitely women not. So now, at this point, you have to choose. Do you want to continue to live under your mama's rules, or do you want to come and be with me? He'll tell me. Same thing with my daughter. She'll tell me. Now, if my kids say, well, Dad, I think this is a better fit for me here, I got to let them go. And they going to take on another man's identity. Ain't nothing I can do for. But if they say, well, Daddy, I ain't feeling that, and that nigga, he ain't my cup of tea, and I'm out. We gone.
I guarantee you ain't no other man in the world thinking like that.
And no, they ain't.
I've never heard
Ain't nobody else.
Well, you know what?
And if you are in the world thinking like this, please comment, because I want to hear, because I don't understand your last name building your legacy. They ain't even got your blood.
Well, but I'm taking care of them. I'm raising them. I'm pouring me into them.
I hate to say it. We say we're going to edit it out, but I got to keep this part in. It is like slavery, because you got to think all the slave people took their last name of the slave masters. That's crazy, bro. I don't even know how you.
But see, people don't think that deep, Dre. If you think about a lot of, and especially black people, we don't have culture. So we don't have identity. We don't have nothing that would bring us all together. It's gone. So you know what? We're going to take on a person name we know nothing about. And we don't even agree with the way they think. People never think about that. I'm just telling you. If I'm taking care of a kid, I'm taking care of the mama, I'm raising this bloodline, I'm going to take that bloodline from that man that I'm raising his kids. And his kids is going to become a part of my legacy.
But you know, with that being said, you got to accept them, the good and the bad. You can't disown them when they do some fucked up stuff.
Well, you know, by law, I'm connected to them. If me and that woman was to leave, I would have to pay child support for them kids, which I would be okay with, because once again, now they're part of my legacy.
Man, I always questioned a lot of stuff you did. You always come out smelling like roses, but I ain't feeling this one, bro. This one is different.
You have to think about it.
I'm gonna have to think. I gotta see this shit in action, bro. I ain't feeling this one right now.
I don't think too many people. If you are, comment, because y'all ain't
If
changed.
my son changed his name,
I'm not changing. I don't hack it, but if I did,
I would have a problem. I signed that birth certificate.
That's cool.
Nah.
But see, one thing about it, your son is under my roof and in my custody.
I'm coming to snatch you.
Well, come and snatch you, and you have that right. But how many fathers not coming to claim theirs?
I'm coming to get mine.
How many?
well, you know what, you would win this debate with children who don't know their fathers and don't have their fathers. But if you messing with some kids who got real daddies, you're not winning that fight.
Well, you know what,
you don't win that fight.
I'm okay with a
and that mama might not be taking that ring, because that mama gonna get collared up in that corner and say, if you do it, I'm trying to tell you.
You can't no man collar up mass.
Okay. Bet you that last name ain't changing.
Barb, I'ma just say this, he can have a problem with it, and he best to go about it the right way.
Okay, you said the name, and let's just go off that. What if they say, I don't want to change I don't want to be your last name?
Okay, well, once again, everything starts with a conversation. Yeah, we gotta call.
You gonna put the kids out?
Listen, I don't have much to say to kids, because kids are burdens. They
But the mom gonna ask the child. The child, they gonna get the child.
The child don't have no say in my house. I'ma talk to the mama, and I'ma tell the mama, this is how I do things. This is how I'm going to do it. Now, if the mama said I would take your last name, what you think we gonna have kids with all these different last names in the house?
People do it all day long.
And that's foolish. If I'm raising another man's DNA, why not take his legacy from him? I'm gonna take his legacy from him.
Okay, when you say what are you financially taking?
I'm getting the same thing the slave master got, right? The same thing, but I'm getting the identity forever. I'm getting the identity forever. Wow. You think your last name? I ain't gonna say your last name. Where it come from?
Shit, I don't
You have no idea. But somebody saying he's going to be named after me.
But Dre came from my mama, so I know
But Dre's not your name. Your last name is your name.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if I'm going to take on another man's responsibility, I'm also take his legacy
I
from
really want to hear the comments off this, fellas, and ladies too, because I don't see that going like that.
Well, you know what? I bet you this. I bet you if this will get a spark out of a lot of men, but it's going to also make a man think, why would this child deserve to carry on this man's legacy?
And I don't think,
and he didn't even raise
but not
this
only
child.
that, I think you're going to get a different reaction from this because you just took on full financial responsibility
That's
for
right.
a child that's not yours. And not many men want to do that.
That's
so
right.
I don't see many men saying, yeah, take my last name, because many men don't want to take care of, the kids anyway.
See, I'm taking more than, Barb, you looking at it on the
I'm looking at the financial side of it. What men gonna say no?
I'm not just going to take this man's last name. I'm going to take his legacy.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
No,
I
Because his
guarantee you.
kids is going to have my name.
Oh,
his
it's not
kids
Only
going to
way
have my
you're
name.
gonna
I got
ever
two
do that, you're gonna
guarantees.
marry a woman who does not know who her children's father is, or her children's father is not around. But if
Oh,
you marry a
yeah.
woman who has a man that is in his children's
Well, Barb,
life, and you're not marrying
I
her.
believe you talking from a strong black woman, and everybody know transition.
Oh, no.
Trans,
My daddy will come holler
transition.
at you.
Wait, I'm gonna take your dark child with
Well,
you.
he would have
son.
took me, and he was gonna probably still sock you in your face after he took me because he would have felt disrespected.
Like I say, your boy decent.
He's
It ain't not going where he thought either. Well, your boy decent there too. He decent. The best thing is take your child and go,
feel
son.
like you disrespected him. Like, who is you?
The best thing, take your child and get off my property,
No, he
sir.
gonna sit there and talk to you.
Listen, I guarantee you, you ain't gonna get one man that agree with you, bro.
He might. So somebody might think like that.
I guarantee you won't get two.
Well, you know
He
what?
might. He might.
All I'm saying, what I want everybody to take away from
He
this,
might.
if you raising another man's DNA, what's in it for you?
Don't do it.
Hold on, Dre. If you're going to do it, you take that man's legacy from him. He don't deserve to have a legacy. What man raises another man's legacy?
Well, Kilo and all y'all get your good shoes on, because y'all gonna have to come help him, because the real man gonna come holler at
Listen,
him.
the only way I do it, like I ain't gonna lie, I done hung here a few hours to eat, or school clothes, whatever. Me and that woman gotta have a different type of bond, one. And secondly, them kids gotta honor and respect me. Like, nah, I ain't gotta
So you
be
would take
their dad.
the name?
but I'm not doing that.
Okay,
to
that's
me,
what I was asking you.
Heck, I'm not
Okay.
doing that. You know what I mean? One, because I see too many problems. I think more or less, he's talking about taking a legacy. I think more or less.
Financial burden he fit to
I'm
take
not even
on.
looking
The
at I think
financial
that's.
burden is just a small part.
I'm going with Diddy saying that to me. That's going to confuse them.
How's it gonna confuse him?
Because-
your daddy, who is your daddy? You don't even know who your daddy is.
What's he?
Your daddy never
You
there.
painted that picture. The daddy might be around. You
Look,
never
if
said the daddy didn't come around. You
Okay.
said I married the woman.
And you gonna strip the kids
if I
of
take
their
care
name.
responsible, the financial responsibility, you taking my name. He may just be going through some financial issues. or
Okay,
whatever.
okay, listen,
That's
Dre.
fine.
If a
Or
man
he may be in the military.
going through a financial situation, and I'm raising his kids, the question still remains: what's in it for me? See, you gotta
Woman.
think. So I'm dating the woman, not the child.
Okay.
So now,
That's the
since I'm
deal,
taking
though.
y'all as a combo, you taking my last name, and everything that come with you taking my last name. and if she's not okay with that, she can say no. And you know what I'm gonna do?
You drinking in that?
I'm gonna throw the deuces
I
up.
suggest you have this conversation with everybody you dating in the beginning, because you can save a whole lot of time. Because I'm guaranteeing you, Every woman don't get up and walk away from the table. So don't ask this shit 6 months in. Ask this shit date 1.
Ray,
that way you save 6 months.
I'm gonna give you some advice. Look up how legacy works. And
I know how legacy works.
How do you think legacy works?
Anybody that carries your name on, that's legacy.
Okay. So you got a part of it, you got a portion of it, and that's the most important on. I will live on through another nigga DNA. Do you know that's like me being Superman?
No, that's not living on.
Yeah.
If it's not your DNA,
but
that's
you
how
only
the
been
legacy
you giving him as
really
the
works.
name. He ain't got your
The name.
No DNA.
Hey, listen.
Okay, so you said the name is stronger than
when
DNA.
you
That's
go
what
back-
I'm trying to understand.
Barb, when you go back to slavery,
Okay.
what make the slave master so powerful?
Well, you only gonna do that to a Cocoa Puff ass nigga because a real nigga gonna holler at you.
Well, I'm gonna tell Cocoa Puff or a real ass nigga, if you don't like the way I run my household, you can take whatever you feel is yours with you. And then I won't even have to have no say over it.
Okay.
But I'm saying to niggas that if he a real ass nigga, I'm gonna say, well, why your real ass ain't raising your kids?
Well, when you say he's not raising his kids, are you referring to he's not raising his kids because his children live in a house with you and the mama?
I'm telling this one. Okay,
I know that because that's the part I want to understand. Because just because they live in a house with you all doesn't mean he's not taking care of his children. Like you don't know if he pick them up every weekend and stuff. So what's
okay? I'm gonna tell you this,
go
Vern.
deep into
I'm gonna tell you this. When I get married, and if the woman I would have little kids, I'm going to dictate what his kids can and cannot do.
Oh, you finna get shot.
Wait a minute. They in my house.
You shot.
They going to go to bed at the time I tell them to go to bed.
And your kids only still up.
No, I'm not that type of dude, Dre. If I say bedtime is at 8 o'clock and this kid may be used to going, my daddy said, I don't care what your daddy said.
Oh, I understand that part, but
I'm going to run my household. I'm going to force the way I do things and run my
I'm not disagreeing with that part. What I'm trying to keep saying, you keep saying he's not raising his children. So are you saying it's because they live in the house with the mama and you?
How is he raising his kids? They live with me, bro. That's because he's providing financial support. Wait a minute, Dre. And just because he's providing financial support, that don't mean he's raising his children.
Okay, but wait a minute. You still have some children who go visit their fathers on the weekends, and you got them out when they get out of school and summertime and stuff like that. But that doesn't fall on the fact of him. That falls on the part of the mother.
I don't care.
So you can't step on this man's head and disrespect him the way you're trying to. And
how about disrespect him?
You're gonna get a consequence.
Okay, Brian, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
You're gonna get a consequence.
In my house, things in my house don't go my way. And if another man have a problem with the way I run things in my house, I'm going to say, I suggest you take whatever you feel is yours and get the fuck home.
Oh, you ain't getting married. Don't worry about it. You gonna make it to the altar. She gonna have to not speak English. She don't understand what you saying for this to roll.
I'm gonna say this, Barb. I've been proposed 2-3 times, so I'm doing something right.
But you ain't never got married.
Hey, listen, you know.
you ain't got no question because he.
I'm just disbelieving.
He gonna be easy. Drake ain't even talk. He said he gonna.
Well, you know, I'm gonna take it a little further.
Okay, change. So go to another.
Let's go to another topic.
Ask another question because that's the best we gonna laugh off. I got to read the comments just off this.
All right, so
Cause you done went to a whole day. You drinking water? What you drinking out that damn cup?
It's tea.
It must be spite.
I stay sober, Barb. I always talk with a sober mind.
Ooh, that wasn't sober right there.
Yeah, that was an edible or something. Mushroom or something.
It's that head. He done lost his
Well,
head.
you know what? This is 4th of July. This is 4th of July. So I'm representing 4th of July. I'm representing.
He done lost his marbles on here. Okay, come on. What's the next question? Come on, get him.
What you want to say, Dre?
He don't know because you got him.
You forgot it.
You got him. Dre upset over here.
I ain't upset.
He said he can't even
I just know
talk.
that shit ain't gonna work out, but good luck.
What's the next question? What you want to answer? Because I didn't forget to sit up talking about this. Oh,
Let's talk about if you was a movie.
I got a quick question. You all three of us, this all of us an answer. You married. Your girl have a one night stand and get pregnant when I had a baby. You stay with her. This all three of us. Mean, what you say?
Because every time I look at that child, it's going to remind me of what she did to me. So just for my own sanity, you know.
What if y'all was broke up?
No.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you saying y'all together?
Y'all together. Shit.
Are we married?
Yeah, y'all married. Shit.
Okay, so why
Okay,
would
now,
you?
Dre, I will be honest with you. Marriage change things.
Don't tell me you stay.
Well, I will be willing to talk.
Talk about legacy.
He said
Yeah.
legacy.
Drake.
Not the baby.
Drake.
This baby gotta have his dad.
Let me ask
Oh,
this
well, you
question,
took him
dog.
back to
Now that ain't thing.
Now, why did you do that?
If we married, I may can we talk about it, work it out, because when the child is born, the child
take his
will be
land.
my child legally.
But,
Yeah, it is.
but the daddy gonna definitely want to be around.
He
But the
can't.
child is legally
It's legally
his.
mine, so he
Because
has no
he's married,
say.
yeah.
Remember I tell you about stealing legacy?
He got it.
I would say, nigga.
No.
He gonna test that DNA.
No, listen.
It don't mean nothing, though,
He
Drake.
has no. That he's telling you the truth on that. He has is if he's married to this woman and she has a baby by someone else, legally by law, that baby is his. The only way that father gets any rights to that baby if he
If I give it
contests
to
this
him.
and say it's not my child.
I gotta
That
give him
man,
right.
that man don't even have to pay child support for that baby. Because if she goes to try to get child
That's right.
support from that man, the judge is going to say, you're married. You have to get it from your husband.
That's right.
So that's his child.
My response. Relationship done.
Well, see,
and I'm
Dre,
done.
Dre,
he
most
snatched your
black
name.
men think like that. But you know, I had done the research, and the research says right now today, 20% of the people that's calling somebody daddy is not the daddy.
That's possible.
That's true.
So
Totally.
what I'm saying is this: they doing it anyway, and they stealing somebody else's legacy.
Well,
I'm just saying, I'm gonna do it up front.
I'm gonna throw 100% without any. I ain't did no research or nothing, but I'm 100% sure you the only person that's gonna come up with that. Don't nobody want to steal.
Well,
no
because you
legacy.
gotta think they do it anyway. You look at how many older men, a lot of these men 70, 80 years old, they need some type of bone transplant. Oh, I get it from my kids. You find out after 40 years, this child's not yours. But guess what? You took on that man. You took that man legacy from him.
Hey, he got your last name.
He got your legacy. I won. But see, you just saying you as a man, you can't see yourself giving another man your legacy.
Bro,
But see, I'm saying as a man, I know how to take a man legacy. It's too late now. I'm just telling them. I would take a man legacy from him. That's his everything. And some of these men are so ignorant, they would give it up. I don't want to pay child support, so I'm going to let him go ahead and take my child's name.
I said that no, not many men would do that.
But you know what, Bart? I take that back. Very few men I know look forward to paying their child support.
Very few. Yeah, well, who wants to pay child support? More than likely,
The whole thing, your child got to live somewhere.
Most of the time, when
The
child
child
support
costs
gets
money.
involved, it's because of an angry, bitter mother, and
Yeah,
most of
bingo.
child support don't have nothing to do with that kid. That comes from the brokenness and the anger of that mother of you moving on. Most kids that get child support is because of that. A lot of fathers do not walk away from their kids. A lot of fathers are disallowed to be in their kids' life. So you can't always say it so much as this, oh, that man's a whole ass nigga, or that man. Sometimes men just rather walk away than deal with that woman. Because sometimes that woman can get you so far up and you want to take her and throw her
I
ass
agree
across the
with
street somewhere and stump a hole in her. So I'd rather be a man and pay child support, and prayerfully when you get older, I holler at you and let you know how it really went, because a child only know one story.
Well,
guess whose story they gonna know?
The mother.
The mama.
And that's
All
what
my
they got wrong
life,
with, too.
I thought my mama grew up when I was a kid. He ain't shit. He this, he that, blah, blah, blah. You know my daddy is 78 years old with dementia. My mom told me this story. He cheated on me. He did this, he did that. So my daddy got this little cut on like a knife. And I said, where you get that cut from? So my mom had already told me the story, but I never asked my father the story. And he was like, oh yeah, your mama did that to me because I caught her cheating and she got mad and stabbed me.
So she changed the whole
So she
story.
changed the whole story. So when I gave the story to her, she was like, well, we wasn't even together. And I said, well, damn, that's mighty funny, because that ain't the story you always planted in my head. You switched the whole story around. And my daddy told the story. My daddy said, it wasn't me. He said, it's just she was too much. So when we talk about these men sometimes, watch that. When we talk about these men sometimes, we got to be careful. Some men rather just walk away. Child support ain't got nothing to do with a man not taking care of his kid, a man not want. Child support just comes from, like I said, an angry, bitter woman. That's how you get it. That's it. She gonna go to that court and she gonna say you ain't bad shit, and you could go over there every day with diapers and milk and shoes. And how much do a 2-year-old need? How much do a 3-year-old and 2-year-old don't need over $100? You could go shopping and buy about 20 outfits with $100 for a 2-year-old. The mama want 5, 6, 700. For what?
Well, Bar, I'm agreeing with you from that point of view because the course is tilted towards the favorite women. But what I'm saying is, when a man come across a man that think like me, I'm a legacy snatcher. And I want to ask you this: so how would you feel about if your kid's mom started dating a guy that's not a Christian? He's a Muslim, and he's tell your child.
I already went through that. My Aaron's mom dated.
And he tell her what she can and can't eat.
Yeah, like they no pork and all that, but Erin wound up doing it on her own. Like once she came over and all that, they would no pork, but over there I say, listen, they run their house this way. I say, you do what you want to do at daddy house. You want pepperonis on your piece and all that, you do what you want to do, because you're not regular. Whatever they regulating over there is over there. You can't do that over here.
Yeah, you don't have to. He don't have to do it.
At some point, she was pepperoni, bacon, whatever. Then at some point she said, you know what, Dad, I don't want to eat bacon no more, no pork.
So he won in the end.
It was her choice.
Yeah, but he introduced that to her. You see how that works?
But that's not a bad introduction.
It ain't that he won. If she did the research, I stopped eating pork on my own myself.
So he convinced you too.
Yeah, convinced me. And one thing I know for sure, right? If a nigga say he can fly, you gotta show me. I gotta see. You know what I mean?
I'll close it out. Oh, this was Freestyle Sunday, and y'all go talk about this. I think it's his hat he got on to get him talking crazy, but we'll see y'all next episode. Oh my God.
We out.
Peace.